very, very much, John, for that wonderful, wonderful, and most undeserved introduction. As John mentioned, we have been friends for 34 years. As he reminded everyone this morning, as I emceed his swearing in, I'm actually the older of the two of us. While it is true that the ticket was Jones Chung, that is the last time that will be the billing. From now on, it's Chung Jones. And we are so very, very, very fortunate to have John's leadership as our state controller. He has done a tremendous job in that office, being a calm voice of reason in the debates over the budget, standing up for working families and seniors, making sure that he uses his tremendous audit authority to ferret out waste and inefficiency, making sure taxpayers' dollars are being spent effectively, and leading us through a fiscal crisis over the last 2 years, and making sure that, notwithstanding the fact that the coffers were bare, this state didn't go bankrupt. Please join me in congratulating and thanking John Chung. And I think somewhere in his audience, his mom, Mrs. Chung, is here. Where are you, Mrs. Chung? Are you here? She may not have made it, but one of the things I shared earlier this morning was that I have to confess, when I saw Mrs. Chung, I broke out in a cold sweat. Because we used to study at John's house, and Mrs. Chung was tough. And I kind of wondered whether she was going to ask me if I had my high school homework done or not. I also want to thank our new Chief Justice, Tani Kantil Sakui, for taking the time to swear me in. Congratulations on your leadership of our Supreme Court and your leadership of California's judicial system. And if I can engage in a little hometown bragging, it's delightful to see a Sacramentan lead California's courts. Congratulations also to our new Governor Jerry Brown, our Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom, our Attorney General Kamala Harris, Treasurer Bill Rockefeller, Secretary of State Deborah Bowen, Superintendent of Public Schools Tom Tolis. What a great, great challenge to lead California. And congratulations as well to Speaker John Perez and Senate President Pro Tem Darrell Steinberg. Darrell, my colleague here in Sacramento, has been a fantastic friend and colleague and mentor. We actually represented the same part of Sacramento, District 6, for a time. And Darrell continues to provide the same stalwart, thoughtful, passionate, compassionate leadership as our Senate leader. And thanks to all of my former colleagues and new colleagues from the State Assembly, the State Senate, members of Congress who have joined us here this evening. Commissioner Garamendi, it's a special treat to have you with us. As John said, you set the standard with regard to how this office ought to be exercised, and I appreciate all of your counsel, mentoring, and advice. I'd also like to extend a very heartfelt thanks to all of my supporters up and down the state of California and to the voters of California who trusted me with this critical responsibility. Your support gave me the opportunity to stand here today, take the oath of office, and lead this important consumer protection agency. I am forever grateful. And of course, I wouldn't be here today were it not for the constant support and love of my amazing family. You heard a moment ago from my daughter Isabel, who sang so beautifully. I'd also like to introduce my wife, Kim Flores, my son, William. Your love and support have been tremendous. It meant so much to me. And I like to say two of the best things that ever happened to me were I met my wife and that she was from California. Otherwise, I might still be back 2,045 miles away in Chicago, freezing. Before I go any further, too, I'd like to thank outgoing Commissioner Steve Poizner, who has been tremendously helpful throughout this transition. Steve directed his staff to help my staff and put every available resource forward in assisting us in making this transition a very smooth one. And we have been hard at work. Last week, we announced my new executive team, which includes a number of long-time career public servants at the Department of Insurance, as well as some people from Commissioner Poizner's team, some returning leaders from Commissioner Garamendi's team, and some with whom I've worked in the legislature. My primary criterion was talent and experience, and I'm excited at the prospect of working with this new leadership team and leading this department. Well, it's certainly been a long road to get here. Perhaps at least 2 times the 525,600 minutes my daughter sang about a moment ago, and I felt every one of those minutes on the campaign trail. But the path was full of many special people and truly unique experiences. And as I ran for insurance commissioner, I did have the opportunity to travel to so many parts of California and meet people from all walks of life. And everyone has their own story to tell about insurance. Whether it's the single mother who lost her job due to a sudden disability and was denied the disability insurance her employer and she paid for, or the father who could not get health insurance due to a pre-existing condition, or the family that cannot keep up with the rising premiums of health insurance, or the single mother who just can't get anyone on the phone to help with her claims issues she's having. These are just some of the stories that I heard. They touched my heart. They showed me how emotional and important insurance can be. But they also showed just how much more needed to be done through this office to ensure that people's needs are fairly and fully addressed. Most of all, I can tell you that the stories I heard were and continue to be an inspiration to do well, to serve the public effectively, and to fulfill the obligations of the Office of Insurance Commissioner to the best of my abilities. The concerns of California's consumers will be my concerns. The problems that they face are problems that we will face and solve together. They will have a strong voice in this Department of Insurance. I want to say a special word about the dedicated career civil servants who work at the Department of Insurance. I have for them the utmost respect. They have vast experience and technical knowledge, and I look forward to working with them. My overarching goal as the Insurance Commissioner is to make the Department of Insurance the strongest consumer protection agency in the nation, bar none. We will set the standard for other consumer protection agencies. Now, while there are many issues that we'll be working on, today I would like to share with you 3 priorities. First, the implementation of federal health care reform. And that includes building upon that reform and addressing omissions like the absence of authority for the Insurance Commissioner to directly regulate and reject excessive health insurance premium increases. Second, the protection of consumers. This includes leveling the playing field for consumers and businesses as they deal with insurance companies, making sure that consumer complaints are being addressed and that insurance companies are not taking advantage. And third, ensuring that California has a viable and competitive insurance market where carriers are solvent, where new products like green insurance can be brought to market to provide more choices, and where consumers are treated fairly. But today, or rather this evening, I'm not only declaring these 3 priorities, I am taking immediate action on them as well. Elections matter. The voters decided they wanted an activist insurance commissioner who will advocate for consumers. And so,